اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم إني أفتتح الثناء بحمدك وأنت مسدد للصواب بمنك، وأيقنت أنك أنت أرحم الراحمين في موضع العفو والرحمة، وأشد المعاقبين في موضع النكال والنقمة، وأعظم المتجبرين في موضع الكبرياء والعظمة. اللهم أذنت لي في دعائك ومسألتك، فاسمع يا سميع مدحتي، وأجب يا رحيم دعوتي، وأقل يا غفور عثرتي. فكم يا إلهي من كربة قد فرجتها، وهموم قد كشفتها، وعثرة قد أقلتها، ورحمة قد نشرتها، وحلقة بلاء قد فككتها. الحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ صاحبة ولا ولدا، ولم يكن له شريك في الملك، ولم يكن له ولي من الذل، وكبره تكبيرا. الحمد لله بجميع محامده كلها، على جميع نعمه كلها. الحمد لله الذي لا مضاد له في ملكه، ولا منازع له في أمره. الحمد لله الذي لا شريك له في خلقه، ولا شبيه له في عظمته. الحمد لله الفاشي في الخلق أمره وحمده، الظاهر بالكرم مجده، الباسط بالجود يده، الذي لا تنقص خزائنه ولا تزيده كثرة العطاء إلا جودا وكرما. إنه هو العزيز الوهاب. اللهم إني أسألك قليلا من كثير، ما حاجة بي إليه عظيمة، وغناك عنه قديم، وهو عندي كثير، وهو عليك سهل يسير. اللهم إن عفوك عن ذنبي، وتجاوزك عن خطيئتي، وصفحك عن ظلمي، وسترك عن قبيح عملي، وحلمك عن كثير جرمي، عندما كان من خطئي وعمدي، أطمعني في أن أسألك ما لا أستوجبه منك، الذي رزقتني من رحمتك، وأريتني من قدرتك، وعرفتني من إجابتك. فصرت أدعوك آمنا، وأسألك مستأنسا، لا خائفا ولا وجلا، مدلا عليك فيما قصدت فيه إليك. فإن أبطأ عني عتبت بجهلي عليك، ولعل الذي أبطأ عني هو خير لي لعلمك بعاقبة الأمور. فلم أر مولا كريما أصبر على عبد لئيم منك علي. يا ربي إنك تدعوني فأولي عنك، وتتحبب إلي فأتبغض إليك، وتتودد إلي فلا أقبل منك، كأن لي التطول عليك. فلم يمنعك ذلك من الرحمة لي، والإحسان إلي، والتفضل علي بجودك وكرمك. فارحم عبدك الجاهل، وجد عليه بفضل إحسانك، إنك جواد كريم. الحمد لله مالك الملك، مجري الفلك، مسخر الرياح، فالق الإصباح ديان الدين رب العالمين. الحمد لله على حلمه بعد علمه، والحمد لله على عفوه بعد قدرته، والحمد لله على طول أناته في غضبه وهو قادر على ما يريد. الحمد لله خالق الخلق باسط الرزق فالق الإصباح ذي الجلال والإكرام والفضل والإنعام، الذي بعد فلا يرى وقرب فشهد النجوى تبارك وتعالى. الحمد لله الذي ليس له منازع يعادله، ولا شبيه يشاكله، ولا ظهير يعاضده. قهر بعزته الأعزاء وتواضع لعظمته العظماء، فبلغ بقدرته ما يشاء. الحمد لله الذي يجيبني حين أنادي، ويستر علي كل عورة وأنا أعصيه، ويعظم النعمة علي فلا أجازي. فكم من موهبة هنيئة قد أعطاني، وعظيمة مخوفة قد كفاني، وبهجة مونقة قد أراني. وأثني عليه حامدا وأذكره مسبحا. الحمد لله الذي لا يهتك حجابه، ولا يغلق بابه، ولا يرد سائله، ولا يخيب آمله. الحمد لله الذي يؤمن الخائفين وينجي الصالحين، ويرفع المستضعفين، ويضع المستكبرين، ويهلك ملوكا ويستخلف آخرين. والحمد لله قاصم الجبارين، مبير الظالمين، مدرك الهاربين، نكال الظالمين، صريخ المستصرخين، موضع حاجات الطالبين، معتمد المؤمنين. الحمد لله الذي من خشيته ترعد السماء وسكانها، وترجف الأرض وعمارها، وتموج البحار ومن يسبح في غمراتها. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا، وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. الحمد لله الذي يخلق ولم يخلق، ويرزق ولا يرزق، ويطعم ولا يطعم، ويميت الأحياء ويحيي الموتى، وهو حي لا يموت، بيده الخير، وهو على كل شيء قدير. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك وأمينك وصفيك وحبيبك وخيرتك من خلقك، وحافظ سرك ومبلغ رسالاتك، أفضل وأحسن وأجمل وأكمل وأزكى وأنمى وأطيب وأطهر وأسنى، وأكثر ما صليت وباركت وترحمت وتحننت وسلمت على أحد من عبادك وأنبيائك ورسلك وصفوتك وأهل الكرامة عليك من خلقك. اللهم وصل على علي أمير المؤمنين ووصي رسول رب العالمين، عبدك ووليك وأخي رسولك، وحجتك على خلقك، وآيتك الكبرى والنبأ العظيم. وصل على الصديقة الطاهرة فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين. وصل على سبطي الرحمة وإمامي الهدى الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة. وصل على أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والخلف الهادي المهدي حججك على عبادك وأمنائك في بلادك صلاة كثيرة دائمة. اللهم وصل على ولي أمرك القائم المؤمل والعدل المنتظر وحفه بملائكتك المقربين وأيده بروح القدس يا رب العالمين. اللهم صل. اللهم اجعله الداعي إلى كتابك والقائم بدينك، استخلفه في الأرض كما استخلفت الذين من قبله، مكن له دينه الذي ارتضيته له، أبدله من بعد خوفه أمنا، يعبدك لا يشرك بك شيئا. اللهم أعزه وأعزز به، وانصره وانتصر به، وانصره نصرا عزيزا، وافتح له فتحا يسيرا، واجعل له من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا. اللهم اظهر به دينك وسنة نبيك حتى لا يستخفي بشيء من الحق مخافة أحد من الخلق. اللهم إنا نرغب إليك في دولة كريمة تعز بها الإسلام وأهله، وتذل بها النفاق وأهله، وتجعلنا فيها من الدعاة إلى طاعتك والقادة إلى سبيلك، وترزقنا بها كرامة الدنيا والآخرة. اللهم ما عرفتنا من الحق فحملنا، وما قصرنا عنه فبلغنا. اللهم المم به شعثنا، واشعب به صدعنا، وارتق به فتقنا، وكثر به قلتنا، واعز به ذلتنا، واغني به عائلنا، واقضي به عن مغرمنا، واجبر به فقرنا، وسد به خلتنا، ويسر به عسرنا، وبيض به وجوهنا، وفك به أسرنا، وأنجح به طلبتنا، وأنجز به مواعيدنا، واستجب به دعوتنا، وأعطنا به سؤلنا، وبلغنا به من الدنيا والآخرة آمالنا، وأعطنا به فوق رغبتنا يا خير المسؤولين وأوسع المعطين. اشف به صدورنا، وأذهب به غيظ قلوبنا، واهدنا به لما اختلف فيه من الحق بإذنك، إنك تهدي من تشاء إلى صراط مستقيم. وانصرنا به على عدوك وعدونا إله الحق آمين. اللهم إنا نشكو إليك فقد نبينا صلواتك عليه وآله، وغيبة ولينا، وكثرة عدونا، وقلة عددنا، وشدة الفتن بنا، وتظاهر الزمان علينا. وصل على محمد وآله، وأعنا على ذلك بفتح منك تعجله، وبضر تكشفه، ونصر تعزه، وسلطان حق تظهره، ورحمة منك تجللناها، وعافية منك تلبسناها، برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم برحمتك في الصالحين فأدخلنا، وفي عليين فارفعنا، وبكأس من معين من عين سلسبيل فاسقنا، ومن الحور العين برحمتك فزوجنا، ومن الولدان المخلدين كأنهم لؤلؤ مكنون فأخدمنا، ومن ثمار الجنة ولحوم الطير فأطعمنا، ومن ثياب السندس والحرير والاستبرق فألبسنا، وليلة القدر وحج بيتك الحرام وقتلا في سبيلك فوفق لنا، وصالح الدعاء والمسألة فاستجب لنا. وإذا جمعت الأولين والآخرين يوم القيامة فارحمنا، وبراءة من النار فاكتب لنا، وفي جهنم فلا تغلنا، وفي عذابك وهوانك فلا تبتلنا، ومن الزقوم والضريع فلا تطعمنا، ومع الشياطين فلا تجعلنا، وفي النار على وجوهنا فلا تكببنا، ومن ثياب النار وسرابيل القطران فلا تلبسنا، ومن كل سوء يا لا إله إلا أنت، بحق لا إله إلا أنت فنجنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصل اللهم على محمد وآله الطاهرين.
افلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد. افلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد. أي أحسنتم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Welcome to night 11 of Shahr Ramadan al-Mubarak. We continue our nightly discussion with Dr. Ali Al-Hilli. A few notes beforehand, however. Friday night, inshallah, will be the first round of the Quran competition. Of course, you know the ages. We've got a lot of sign-ups already. It will be happening concurrently with the main program, meaning during the main program, we'll be having the kids in another area doing the Quran competition, inshallah. So it will be 20 verses for under 6, 50 verses for 7 to 11, and 100 verses for 12 to 16. Of course, I repeat again that is not from one surah. It can be from many, from multiple surah together, adding up to a cumulative 20, 50, or 100 verses, inshallah. Saturday night will be the Mawlid celebration of Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba alayhi salam, Kareem Ahlul Bayt. I highly encourage parents to bring their children that night for the Majina Gargayan celebration. So bring your children, inshallah. They can have some treats. We'll have fun. We'll have recitations with the incoming Radud Hassan Mudaffar from Detroit, inshallah. And so that's Saturday night. Inshallah, we hope to see you all there, bi'ithnillah ta'ala. So without further ado, let's welcome Dr. Ali to the front with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. My dear sisters and brothers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. تقبل الله أعمالكم إن شاء الله بقبول حسن. May Allah accept your deeds. So today, inshallah, will be a slightly different style of talk. It's going to be more of an interactive talk / workshop. We're trying to change things a bit. So I'm not going to sit down here. I'm going to be with you. And inshallah, we're going to explore the concept of parenting. And what we're going to do, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, is we're going to have, just get this here. So we're going to have, inshallah, some scenarios where I want you all to participate in it. We have a mic that, inshallah, will go around for sisters and brothers. And inshallah, what we'll do is we'll make sure that just get this up. So inshallah, what we'll do is make sure that everyone, inshallah, participates in these particular scenarios. Now, in terms of parenting, of course, we have a range of different types of people here. We have people who are single, we have children, we have people who are married, and people with young children, people with old children. So inshallah, everyone can participate in these particular cases. Now, I just wanted to say something right at the start. I'm going to provide some scenarios, okay? 4 scenarios, okay? And each scenario I want you to study and think about is going to be on the screen, and inshallah we can discuss it. But the last 2 scenarios is going to be about LGBT, okay, cases. Now, if someone is not very happy that their children are here listening to this particular topic, then I'm going to give you like a half an hour heads up that maybe in half an hour time we'll speak about this scenario. You can throughout this talk you can take your children, or they can do some other activities, etc., if you don't want your children to hear about these particular scenarios. Okay, so it's really important, my dear brothers and sisters, to talk about strategies of parenting. So what I have looked into in the Holy Quran is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about main principles of parenting, but He doesn't go into specifics. So for example, when He talks about Luqman, salamullahi alayhi, Luqman, was he a prophet or just a noble person? Not a prophet? No, okay, yeah. So Luqman was a noble person, was a wise person, okay, Hakim. And he had this conversation with his son, yeah? And what Luqman told his son, he told him some principles of life, yes? لا تشرك بالله إن الشرك لظلم عظيم, and continued to talk to him about salah, talk to him about zakat, about how to treat people. He gave him principles, yes? How, what should Luqman's son do as a mu'min, as a true mu'min, believer of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then as you also examine the hadith and examine the Quran, it doesn't go into specifics. Because why? In my opinion, is because in every generation and every society, parenting style changes, and it has to change because the challenges are different. Okay? So the challenges that we face as parents throughout different time periods is different to other time periods. Okay? So we as a community, or in general as a society, what we've got to do is we've got to try and come up with techniques and help each other in order for us to parent in the best possible way. Now, there are a huge amount of challenges here in the West that we face in terms of parenting, isn't it? You know, we face, for example, the issue of the belief of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, believing in God. And sometimes, you know, our children, they, you know, we ask them to believe in a one, you know, there's the one creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is a God. But how much of that do they actually, you know, how much is injected in their heart? I actually read a book, really interesting book, of a story someone made up. A father and a son, he continuously told his son that, you know, of course there is a God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exists, and he taught him the salah, taught him siyam, taught him to always be a religious, pious, muttaqi, etc. And then when he became around 20 years old or so, he took his son, and I'm not suggesting anyone does this, by the way. It's a very dangerous move, okay? He took his son and he said, look, what I've told you in the last 20 years is all a lie. Everything was a lie, okay? What he was trying to do, he was trying to make sure that his son goes and discovers religion by himself, okay? And so his son said, no way, you've been telling me all this is a lie. He said, yeah, it's all a lie. And you know, look, you know, there isn't a God, there isn't whatever. And so the son said, okay, you say this, but I'm going to go and look for God. So the son went and for several years tried to discover God by himself, not being taught that there is a God, but actually trying to discover the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? And he came, and as a conclusion, he came to his father a few years after that, and he told his father, no, you are wrong. Allah does exist, and I can prove it to you through the X, Y, and Z. And his father said, brilliant, because I agree with you, but I just wanted you to go and discover it. Now, that's a very dangerous thing to do. You know, you go and tell your son that everything. But actually, it just shows that it's important we sometimes allow our children to, you know, be free thinkers. You know, sometimes they need, at a particular age, of course, they need to be free thinkers so that they can also get to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directly. Now, So there are many challenges. So the challenges involved is, of course, discovering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, asking questions, as we've said many times before, that Nabi Ibrahim salamullahi alayhi, he said what? He said, Rabbi arini kayfa tuhyi al-mawta. Qala awalam tu'min? Qala bala, walakin liyatma'inna qalbi. So Ibrahim asked a question. Why did Ibrahim ask a question? Okay, he said, show me how you bring back the dead. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, don't you believe? He said, I do believe, but I want my heart to be tranquil, at peace, right? And tranquil. So why is it that Ibrahim salamullahi alayhi, he asked the question and we are not allowed to ask questions? It's important that we encourage our children to ask questions. Yes? Okay. Okay, so other challenges, of course, in society, in schools, in LGBT, in terms of akhlaq, in terms of the issues of drugs and alcohol and addictions and all these particular things that are important, and social media, of course, and all these things that are really important for a parent to understand the society, to understand what is actually happening in society in order for them to parent. So inshallah, for the remainder of this talk, we're going to go through some scenarios. Inshallah, I want you to think about these scenarios. If you like to discuss with the person beside you, it's up to you. If you want to be someone who just wants to think about them yourself, you can do that yourself as well. And inshallah, then we'll have the mic going round where we want your participation in order for us to find techniques, the best techniques in the 21st century. Yes? And how do we tackle these challenges in terms of parenting? Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So there's a few points just before I start. So I need you to all understand. If you're going to sleep after this, okay, then I just understand this and then you can go to sleep. Okay? The main thing I want you to know is parenting is about you. It's not about your children. Some people say, well, actually, it's my children, they have the problem. He had a wakih, or they're too they're too hyper, or they don't listen to me and stuff. I will say 99% of the time, there are cases, of course, there are outliers, but 99% of the time, parenting is about you. Your children are a mirror of you. How you bring them up, it's up to you. And sometimes, when I get people coming to me and saying, can you help my child and things like that, and I'm thinking, where have you been in parenting your child? And some people might say, it's an unfair statement. No, I think it's a fair statement. I think if you've taken too much care about your business or in terms of your financial gains or whatever, and you're hardly at home, not really paying attention to your children, then the consequences are severe. Okay? And so therefore, it's really important that you focus on this. So parenting is about you, and this is vital that you understand. And also today, I'm going to not really talk about very young age. I'm talking about close to teenagers, okay? So 13 and over, because I think this is the fundamental age that the prefrontal cortex starts to continuously rewire, and they're sometimes a bit confused about what's going on. So we want to focus on teenagers. And so my next point is that it's really, really important for those of you who have young children, okay, who are going to go into teenagers. Your child is no longer a child. There's a big difference. We've got to be trained in parenting before teenager age, and then a new technique after teenager, because your child is no longer a child when they become teenagers. Do you understand? So I have a particular technique when they are young. They're like 5, 6, 7 years old, okay? I play with them, as how the hadith states, the 777. I play with them, I engage with them, etc. But when they become teenagers, 12, 13 years old, I've got to change my technique. I've got to change my attitude, because their brain starts to change. So you are forced to change your technique. Yes? their brain starts to change, so you've got to change as well. Some people, where they fail, they use the same techniques when the children were 5 years old, all the way till 18, 17, 8 years old. It's wrong. You've got to have a new technique, and you've got to realize that my son, my daughter is now 13 years old. So I have to now change my techniques. When I speak to them in a different way. When I deal with them in terms of salah, in terms of spirituality, in terms of Islam, it has to be different, okay? Because their brain is now wired in a different way. Any questions so far? Remember, today is different technique, okay? It's like a workshop style. You talk to me, I talk to you. We're all very friends, yeah? We're like a family today, only today. Tomorrow, no, we go back. Okay? If you have any questions, you got any issues, especially also from the sisters, I can't see, but if the sisters also have any questions or anything, please do let me know, and inshallah we can hear them. All right. So I'm going to present to you scenarios. Can everyone see the screen? Yeah? Everyone see the screen? So I'm going to present you, so I'm going to read the scenario, and I'm going to give you a few minutes. You can discuss it, and then we'll come back and inshallah see how we can try to sort out this particular case. Now, scenario number 1 is about crisis of faith. Okay, there's a problem about faith. So let's read this. Suhail is a 14-year-old son, is your 14-year-old son who has just gone through bulugh. You have been teaching him salah since he was 8 years old. Sunday madrasa has also taught him. Now that he is baligh, it's wajib for him to pray. In the last year, you have noticed that Suhail has been lazy when it comes to prayer. He doesn't prioritize prayer. When asked if he's prayed, he always says yes. A few days ago, you were told by his older brother that Suhail does not pray, and when asked by you or by your wife, he lies about praying. Yeah? What should be your reaction when you find out this particular issue? That Suhail has been lying about praying. So you ask him, are you praying? He says, yes, I am praying. And you think he's always been praying, but actually he hasn't really been praying, and he's lying, and he's been lazy when it comes to prayers, and he doesn't prioritize prayers. And how would you deal with this situation? What would you do if your own son, 14 years old, yes, do you guys understand the scenario? 14 years old, he is saying he's praying, but he doesn't actually pray. Okay? And his older brother told you, by the way, Suhail doesn't pray. He's saying he's praying, but he doesn't. شنو يقولون? He's not spied on him. ها؟ لا بالإنجليزي. What is it? Snitched. Yeah, he snitched on him. That's it. Snitched. He snitched on his brother. Yeah, that he's not praying. So what I want you to focus on is what will be your reaction when you find this out. As a parent, as a father, as a mother, what would be your reaction? You say, oh my God, Suhail has been lying to me all that time. What are you going to do? And be realistic of what you're going to do. Okay? Don't just what are you going to do? Are you going to go on? لا ما يصير ما يجوز. يعني هسه we'll hear your comments, right? Or you're going to use a different approach. Let's learn from each other, guys. Remember, this is a learning process, yes? Honestly, my heart, I've been doing this for quite some time, these workshops on parenting, especially from the elders who have kids much older than I have, will love to learn from you. And there are youngsters here who will love to learn as well. What are your techniques, if it's successful techniques, that we can all pick up, inshallah, when we are dealt with such a situation? Okay? So I'll give you a few minutes. Think about this. What will be your reaction, and how would you deal with this situation? And inshallah, whoever has a comment, the mic will go around, and we'll have a nice discussion, bi'idhnillah. Okay? صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
good person.
Turn to a Muslim.
You are a Muslim, but you can be a very good person.
محتاج واحد يبحث عن الموضوع.
And has a squishy Pikachu on it.
ها؟
Squish Pikachu?
واقع يا
It feels like slime.
زين. خلينا نسمع منكم إن شاء الله.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's basic.
So let's have a discussion inshallah. I think Abu Sadiq Abu Sadiq has a comment. We'll start with him and inshallah we'll move on.
Okay, I will not confront my kids. I will work around it in different ways about akhlaq and not to lie and make a stories whatever with them. I will not confront him, say, well, why not you praying or that? That's not because that will push him away from prayers. So I did that for my kids as well. So Sadiq was not praying at one time. So worked with him indirectly.
خاش فضيحة.
No, that's reality.
Yeah.
You want facts, right?
Yes,
It's
yes.
not thing. So that's the way it is.
بس عفوا أبو صادق. Can I ask you some
Yeah,
questions?
go ahead.
So you just found out that I'm not going to use Sadiq.
Yeah,
you have a
I
son
got
called.
disappointed. I mean, that's obviously.
Yeah,
I
but
got
what
disappointed.
would you do then at that time? At that you found out that he's been lying, and he hasn't been praying all
just-
that time. What would you do?
I just bite my tongue and keep quiet and work on.
You won't go and speak to him?
I will speak him different indirectly.
How?
Indirectly, in
How?
a way, I bring him. I take an occasion, and bring that subject about prayers, about lying, give him a story, educate him on these things. Not be comforting with yelling and screaming. It does nothing for you.
So, but
Okay.
you don't need to yell or scream. But
Oh,
would
just
you
even
would you
though-
go and at that particular moment when you found out, you're not gonna go and say,
No.
"Come, let me talk to you."
No.
You're just gonna let it be,
Let be, and then
Okay.
I work on it.
and then
slowly.
indirectly you're going to talk about salah, the benefits of salah.
Exactly.
Indirectly, you're gonna talk about the bad effects of lying.
Lying, exactly.
Ah,
That's
very
what
interesting.
So
And this is something you've practiced already.
I practice and I live it every day too.
Alhamdulillah. Okay. Barakallah fikum. Ahsantum. Barakallah fikum. What about other people? From the sisters, we have one person.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In my opinion, first we need to talk with him or her, like not in an upset way, but in a good way, in a friendly way. And after that, we should say, as you mentioned, about the benefit of the prayer and the experience that I have. Like I use their beliefs. For example, one of my sons, he is very in love with Imam Zaman, Ajallah Farajah Sharif. I use that one. Okay. We are waiting for Imam Zaman. How we cannot pray? This kind of thing, I think. Then, as a parents, we can use we can do Sahife Sajida 25. I think it's about the children.
Yes. But just sorry, sister, I'll ask you a question. So at that moment, when you find out that your son is not praying and he's lying to you, what would you do?
On that time, like it is very important that I should, I don't know how to say in English, I should keep my ghazab. I should not be ghazab now.
You won't get angry.
Yeah, I should
Okay,
not.
but what would you do exactly? Tell me, what would you do?
I will say it is. I will say like lying is not good.
You go and speak to him?
Yes.
Okay. So it's a bit different to Abu Sadiq's approach. Abu Sadiq says that, he's going to let it be, and then indirectly he's going to start talking about salah, so that indirectly his son will realize that. But you saying you go and speak to him,
I will.
but
go
not in an angry way.
not in angry way.
Yeah.
Then
But
I
you're
will-
going to tell him that you've been lying?
I will say like I hear it is not good. I will not say that you're lying.
Okay.
Maybe you are tired, you didn't pray, so if one time you didn't pray, then it will be your habit. You will be delay in the prayers.
Okay, but if your son comes and says, "Well, how do you know I am praying?" But you remember he's lying. So he's going to continue his lie. So he's going to say, "No, I am praying. Who said I'm not praying?"
They told me the same thing. It's happened in my house, unfortunately.
Yeah, so what would you do if I'm your son and I come and tell you, well, Mama, I am praying. Who told you I'm not praying?
I say, I saw you, you didn't pray.
What are you talking about? I always pray. Look at my turba, it's in my room. So you tell me that you've seen me not pray?
I saw you that you didn't, today you didn't pray. I saw you.
No, but I did pray.
No, where? I was at home with you.
Yeah, but I did pray in my bedroom.
I was with you, you didn't pray. I will convince him.
Huh? No, but but this is important because he is lying, and lying amongst teenagers is something really high. A lot of teenagers lie, okay?
Maybe I will
Because
not.
but I'm saying I did pray. So what would your answer be? We can go on back and forth and say I did pray. You say no, you didn't. I did pray. You didn't. But is that the
No,
right thing to do?
No, I will say okay. Maybe the another strategy that I will use, maybe
Yeah.
I will ask my husband to help me.
Mm.
We will work together. Maybe we will bring him in Namaz Jum'ah or maybe in this kind
Okay.
of program.
Mm.
I
Okay,
will
so
not force him, no, you're lying, no, I'm right, you're wrong. No,
Ah,
I will
okay.
not use this thing.
yeah, okay. Ahsantum. Thank you so much. Okay, so that's a slightly different approach. The sister's gonna go to him, tell him, look, you're not praying, etc. But she tries not to have that conflict with the son. But remember, the son says he is praying. But he's lying, but he says he is praying. So, if you continue asking him, "Talesh ma تصلي?" Why are you not praying? He's gonna say, I am praying, because that's what he does. He lies. Okay. So, anyone else? Yes, brother.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
So I feel like it is possible that I think it's really important to make sure that you plant the idea of why you're praying into his mind. So I believe that if he understands why he has to pray and understands the importance of not for example skipping prayer and all that, I feel that would be better for him.
Yeah, but how would you do it? Try to focus on the scenario. When you find out that your son is not praying, what would you do?
What I would do is I would start taking things away from him that is dear to him.
Oh, so you'll punish him.
In a way.
So you'll go and face him and say you've not been praying.
So I think confrontation would be important in my
Okay, so you're gonna confront him.
Yes.
And you're gonna say, Suhail, you're not been praying.
Mm.
And Suhail's gonna say, I am praying. What would you do?
Well, what I would do is, if I don't believe him, right? So
Yeah.
what I would do is, if I take something away from him, maybe he's going to be, let's say, in a way forced to start praying, and then he wants to get that item back. But then maybe sooner he'll understand that is it even worth, trying to lie and all of that. But that is only if he understands, like.
But you're gonna confront him, and there's gonna be like a shouting match. You think confronting him is a good thing?
I feel like it is good to approach confrontation in.
Yeah, but
In the
he's
first
gonna be.
steps.
But he's gonna deny. He's gonna say, I am praying, Baba. I am praying. So what's your reply? As if I am Suhail, and I'm telling you I have prayed. What would you tell me? لا بس خليه يفكر yeah لا, think about it, brother, don't worry, think about it. Okay, if I am Suhail, I'm telling you, Baba, I did pray, what would you do?
Well, what I would do is I would de-escalate. I'll be like, okay, fine, you're not praying, let's say.
Okay.
And I would experiment, let's say, for a few days, see what his actions are. And if he continues doing it, then I feel like it's more important to explain the benefits.
Explain the benefits. So what you'll do is I'm just trying to explain what you'll do. So you'll say, okay, you're not praying, but then you'll start to pay close attention to his prayers,
to his
or
habits,
his habits, and see whether he's praying or not, and things like that. So you're gonna like be on his case.
Yes.
Yeah, and then really find out if he's praying or not.
And that will also help me understand, like, if I've done something wrong on my part.
Okay.
And
No,
for
that's
the week,
a
yeah.
good point. Anyone else? Sisters? Sorry, you want? Oh no, that's a. No, we need parents. Don't worry. There's no. We need a parent from the sisters. Any parent from the sisters? Yes, just one. All right.
I think every teenager goes through this phase at
Yeah.
some point in their life. If I find out Haidar and Hassan didn't pray, I wouldn't even bring it up to them.
What would you do then? What if a scenario where Haidar is not praying, but he says he is praying? What would you do?
Khalas, they're baligh now. Like, why would I even?
So you leave them?
I leave them, but I remind them.
But they're still teenagers. But bulugh doesn't mean that they're completely independent. You're still a parent, so you'll leave them, and just would you check up on them every time?
I check up on them, but
Okay.
I won't like reprimand them for it.
You won't? Sorry.
I won't punish them for it.
Okay. You won't.
I'll
You're
tell
not
them
gonna.
your punishment's with Allah, not with me.
But you're gonna confront him, and say you're not praying.
I mean, I would like just like how my uncle said. Like, I wouldn't confront him, but I would sort of, bring it up. Like, hey, are you praying? Did you pray? Did
Okay.
you do
So
wudu?
you have like a conversation with him.
A conversation, yeah.
But not confrontational. Okay. Ahsantum. Thank you so much. One final one, and then we'll. ما سمعنا منكم. This brother, who also doesn't look like he's a parent, but we'll hear from you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam tullah.
I
If you don't mind, just focus on the situation.
Yes.
I am not praying, but I am telling you I am praying. What would you do?
I think creating a sense of competition between children is really important.
Okay, you've gone off the point. Again, I am not praying.
Yes.
Okay, but you just found out that I'm not praying.
Yes.
And you come and ask, or you found out that I am also lying.
Mhm.
What would you do then at that moment?
At that moment, I think encourage them to, if you go to your mosque for 10 days, I can introduce you rewards, some gifts, and create competition between children. That our children, for example, he has a brother.
Yeah, he has
If
a
you
brother.
have, if the two brothers go to mosque for 10 days and pray in 10 days, I can introduce you a gift. And after
so
10
a
days,
reward system.
This rewards can
Okay,
help them. After 10 days, we can give them a gift, and it can encourage them to continue in this way.
So you'll give them rewards. So you say you won't confront your child.
No.
You'll say, "Come on, Suhail, let's go to the center. Let's go to Rasul Al-Adham. Let's go and pray there."
Yes.
Okay? And if you pray 10 days every day, but then I'll come and say, "Baba, I am praying. You don't need to give me a reward system."
You
I
know,
don't.
every child has a sense of needs, has like a sense of competitions. You know,
Yes.
they need to have
But remember, this is a 14-year-old,
Yeah,
so it's not
yes.
like a small child, not
Yeah,
like
yeah, I
7,
know.
8-year-old, 14-year-old. So 14-year-olds also would like to compete.
Yeah, he like to have have a better than his brother, maybe.
Sure, but this will be a competition based on things that are wajib. So if you pray more, I'll give you a gift. Is that what you're doing?
It's better because if you do it, he has a good feeling after that.
But then then you gotta continuously give gifts because prayers has to be every day.
I know, but you can make it less than gift, and they can continue after when they participate in the mosque and pray, and they know that there is a lecture in that mosque, and everyone try to pray. He found out after a while.
Okay.
That's what is the importance of the prayer.
Okay. Ahsant. Well, anyone from the sisters? No? We'll hear from the brother.
Arabic is fine, right?
Yeah, Arabic is fine.
السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
إذا صارت عندي هذه المشكلة يعني
نعم.
أول شيء أتوجه إلى الله أن يعيني يعني الإعانة، أطلب من الله الإعانة والدعاء.
بارك الله فيكم.
والشيء الآخر أبدأ أسأل، أسوي سيرش، أسأل يعني شوف اللي أقدر اللي عندهم تجربة شنو أحسن طريقة اللي أقدر هذا أرجعه إلى طريقة يعني. فهذه من البدايات يعني. وبعدين الشيء المهم أنا أكون القدوة الحسنة. إذا أنا كنت يعني قدوة حسنة إلى ابني راح يسمع كلامي يعني. بس إذا أنا كنت أقول شيء وعملي شيء ما راح يسمع كلامي يعني. أكون القدوة الحسنة ويعني أظل وياه أتكلم، بس شنو كله بأخلاق وبمحبة. لازم أعطي أكثر محبة. كل ما أعطي أكثر محبة وأتقرب إليه كل ما هو راح يسمع لي يعني.
بس إذا حجي يقول لك كلامكم لطيف جدا، بس عمليا إذا يجي هو يعني يقول بس أنا دا أصلي شنو المشكلة؟
هو حتى إذا يقول أنا أتصور الأم تحس بهذا الشيء.
ما يخالف، بس تقول أنت شو تقولي أنا دا أحس أنت ما تصلي؟
لا ما أقول له.
لا شو تقولي
أصلا
له؟
ما أقول له مباشر أبدا.
يعني ما تحكين وياه مباشرة؟
ما أحكي مباشر أبدا، بس أنا أحاول حتى إذا أدز له مثلا فيديوهات عن الصلاة مثلا فد أشياء حلوة
دائما
يعني
ذكريه بالصلاة.
أذكره إلى أن هو يوصل إلى هاي النتيجة. مو بالقوة لا أبدا.
بارك الله فيكم. Just to translate very quickly, أحسنتم بارك الله فيكم. ظاهر الحجية عندها خبرة كثيرة بالتربية. بارك الله فيكم. She says that the first thing she'll do is do dua. Remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, supplicate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The next thing she does is she'll go and seek advice. Very interesting. She'll seek advice of those people who who have experience in such scenarios. And number three, she will will not confront him but always remind him of prayers and always try to bring him into salah and always be his friend, be close to him. Okay, and that will be her strategy. تفضل حجي.
السلام عليكم.
تفضل عليكم السلام.
In this situation, in this case, I will not let him know that I know he's lying. Lying is like the worst akhlaq that everyone has.
Yeah.
All my kids, I make them feel that I trust them. Whatever they say is true. So they wouldn't. If they lie, they feel shame. I make them feel like I trust you 100%. That's one thing. Second thing, so I don't tell him that you lied. I use the other technique I use is do the jama'ah home. Like
pray together.
So waqt salah, okay, you guys come, let's pray. So that's the only technique I use, and not make them feel that I know they lie. It works for me. Right?
And it makes them, I guess what you're also saying, it's psychologically will affect them.
Yeah.
Because if you accuse them of lying, especially if they are lying, then it lowers their confidence, and then it creates a conflict between you two.
And they make it easy for next time. Say, okay, my father knows I lie, so it's okay.
Okay.
But if they know that I trust them, I know they will not lie, they will avoid lying.
Right.
Okay,
excellent. Very good point. Okay, I have to move on because otherwise we'll be ahsantum. Barakallah fikum. So really, really good points. Honestly, I've done this many times. You guys have said one of the best answers. There is no right or wrong answer here. Okay, so there isn't like it's written in a scripture that if you are faced with Suhail and him lying, then this is what you do. 1, 2, 3. No, there isn't. But you all said amazing answers, so barakallah fikum. Let's just go through some of my thoughts. What will be some people's typical reaction towards these things? Number one, it will be denial of feeling. So, as some people have said, when you confront the Suhail, Suhail will say, no, I am not lying, and then you start denying that. You say, no, you are lying. So that will be a confrontation. You want to avoid confrontation. Avoid confrontation, because confrontation will not get you anywhere. It will just be back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay, it will just be, no, you're lying, no, I am not lying. No, you're lying, no, I'm not lying. Then it will be screams, then you will be angry, he will get angry, and your relationship will be affected. Okay, so don't deny his feelings. What we tend to do is give him advice. And it's really beautiful what all of you have said, especially Abu Sadiq and Al-Hajjiyya, who have a lot of experience in this. What we tend to do is straight away go and give him advice. أنا ضايج عصبي شلون يكذب علي زين. I straight away go and give him advice, and I tell him, no, you are lying because your brother said you are lying. And he said, no, I'm not. And so then don't give advice at that moment. Okay? Don't give advice. Just take it in terms of try at that particular moment not to give advice, because the tone will be different. You're very full of emotions. We start to ask them questions. We tell them, why did you do this? I've always trusted you. Why do you lie to me? It's not just about salah. And we start asking them all these particular questions. Remember, these are what we tend to do, not what you should do. Feeling of failure, we tend to make them feel like they're a failure. Okay, يعني for them lying, you're a failure. And as what you said, reduces their confidence. Okay, and also anger and frustration. They're people who will, we get angry and they get angry. We get frustrated, they get frustrated. So then it becomes quite tense. Now, what all of you said is amazing, really is, and I've learned from this. Okay, and I've genuinely learned from your advice. But what also it's important is, what we've got to practice to be empathic. We spoke a bit about this yesterday. We've got to try to listen, acknowledge, understand emotions, and then also some physical touch. When Abu Sadiq said, look, I'll let it be, and then indirectly I start telling him. That is exactly what you should do. Okay? Indirectly, but through an empathic approach, not a violent approach or a hostile approach. Okay? Hostility in parenting, guys, will never work. But you've got to be firm. Firm but not hostile. So there is a difference. There are some parents who will not give give sort of not particular advice at that moment, but general advice, but also say, Yalla khali, he'll pick it up by himself. No. You've got to be firm. You make sure that you give them the direction, okay? But be gentle when you do that. Okay? And use an empathic approach. What I mean by physical touch is that sometimes, when they are very emotional, and they know that they are lying, by the way. They know that they're lying. It's not like, he's like, oh yeah, I'm lying. No, they know that they're lying. They know they are guilty. But maybe as physical touch, a hug maybe, okay, to tell them, I know you are struggling emotionally here, but it's okay. Because this is what happens to teenagers. It's okay. Okay? I'll hug you to tell you that I am with you. It's okay you've lied to me. You're indirectly saying this. No, you're not talking to say you're lying to me. No, but you hug them, and just quietly he'll start to get this energy from you that you're on his side, and he will love for you to be closer to him. Remember, relationship is really important. Relationship is so important. As the Hajjiyya said very rightly, so that she'll always want to be close to him, always want to help him, always want to support him. She'll be this role model for him. And that's exactly what you need to do. Okay? So what can we do? Don't undermine their doubts. Try to understand the depth of their doubts. Sometimes, why are they lying? ليش دي يكذب? There must be something there. يعني الطفل ما يكذب just because he enjoys يكذب. There must be a cause there. There must be some doubt going on. So then, through friendship, through that relationship, so what I tend to do with my son, and I'm not saying I'm a great parent at all, but what I tend to do with my son is 13-year-old. I tend to take him out for coffee sometimes. And let me tell you about this study that's happened. And it's really, really interesting study that has changed the way I parent. So, there's a hormone called oxytocin. It's the love hormone. We have hormone called oxytocin within us. Okay, and they said that in order for your child to increase in their oxytocin hormone, okay, towards you, it's different approach between a mother and a father. Do you understand? So a mother, what she should do to a child is give him a hug. Then a lot of oxytocin is released in the child. If it's a boy or a girl, it doesn't matter. The mother, she does really good hugs. The father, if he does hugs, he just doesn't know how to do hugs, the father. You know, we men, we don't know how to do hugs, okay? Haji Mehdi, شلونك? Huh? Do you know how to give hugs? Does dad give good hugs? No, he doesn't. That's why. that didn't go well. No, it didn't. All right. Yeah, the punishment. Yeah, we just okay. It didn't take long. So what they found out for fathers, how can you increase the oxytocin? Can anyone guess how to increase the oxytocin of your children? How does the father increase the oxytocin of their children? Not hugs. No. This is sort of, yeah. What would you do? There's a specific thing that research has found out for you to do in order for you to increase the oxytocin of your children towards you as a father, not the mother. Huh? Yes, you're on the same path. Talk positive, yeah.
Buy gift for him.
A what? Pad at the back. No, that's only if they're choking.
Buy gift for him.
No, huh? I said it a few minutes ago.
Go for
Go
for a coffee for a walk.
Yes. Take them out. One to one, not you don't take them out with the family. Yeah? So you don't take them out with the family. You take one to one. So you take your son, you say, now it's between me and you. It's now time between me and you. It's father time. You go out for a bike ride. You go out for, hot chocolate, for example. They might like a hot chocolate. You might go for a quick snack. You might go out for whatever they love. What do they love? They might want you to play football with them. This is soccer. Soccer. Okay, or hockey. What a useless sport. Or hockey, you play hockey with them. A useless sport, all right? So you play hockey or you play whatever you want, but it's their time, not your time. So you wouldn't actually say, actually, let's go out for a dessert. No, you ask them, what do you want to do? And say, maybe they want to stay at home and they want to play football with you at home, or they play FIFA with you, but it's father time. That increases. I've seen that with my own son. He loves to play soccer. Loves to play it. Okay? So, اي والله مع الاسف اليوم ليش ذكرتني. So the idea is to be one to one with the father, and make sure, fathers, you do not use your phone while doing this. Yeah, keep your phone away because you will be distracted with your phone. Okay. Just finally, also, this Suhail is lying. He's not praying. Could his doubts actually reflect your doubts? How is your salah? How is your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Because sometimes we believe that I am perfect, but my son's here. المشكلة ابني هذا ما يصلي وما أدري شو. أنت شلون علاقتك ويا الصلاة? How is your relationship with Allah? So, do you pray on time? Are you always conscious about praying? Like what Haji said, pray family together, all come together. Or your relationship with salah is not great anyway. Okay? So could they actually, their doubts reflect your own doubts? Now, just very quickly, some further suggestions. It's really important to create a godly home. Always, there's a brother, I'm going to shout out for him. There's a clock called a Nabet. Okay, he actually lives in Canada. He's one of our Lebanese brothers. He's got a clock as a business. It's a Shia clock. Okay, it's quite a big clock, digital clock that does the adhan. and so many different reciters. Okay, and also does the تعقيبات اليومية. I don't know if you guys have it here, or you have it. Yeah. So I actually bought some. Okay, and I have one at home, and it's really important that the adhan goes on at home. When it's salah time, everyone in the house knows it's salah time. Right? It is salah time. So then they come and they pray. Yes? They might need some like, Baba wainkum, wahada, you know, where are you? Come on, I'm waiting for you to do congregational prayers, jama'ah prayers. But it's really important that you have a godly home. Always have dhikrillah. And some people, I go to their houses, I see like, for example, on a Sunday, they have in a YouTube channel on repeat dhikrillah. Not, for example, Quran, you need to listen to it, Quran well. Okay? But dhikrillah, subhanallah, alhamdulillah, shukran lillah. There are YouTube videos that continuously just says this in a nice voice. So you allow it on repeat. So there's like a 3-hour one, but you put it in the background while the children are playing, while they're doing their homework. They have dhikrillah in the background. Alhamdulillah, subhanallah, shukran lillah. It's always Allah, Allah, Allah. So building that godly home will allow Suhail to fall in love with salah. Okay? And that's very, very important. And we said it, be the person you want your child to be. And this is dua, of course, رَبِّ اجْعَلْ لِي مُقِيمَ الصَّلَاةِ وَمِن ذُرِّيَّتِي. Who said this? No, but which Nabi said this? Ibrahim, salamullah alayhi. رَبِّ اجْعَلْنِي مُقِيمَ الصَّلَاةِ وَمِن ذُرِّيَّتِي رَبَّنَا وَتَقَبَّلْ دُعَاء. It's good to, as a parent to recite this in your qunut, continuously recite it. Yeah? It's a dua of Nabi Ibrahim. Rabbi ja'alli muqim as-salati wa min dhurriyyati. Oh Allah, make me and those believers of my descendants keep up prayer. Oh Allah, accept my salah. Now, okay, that's first scenario gone. Today we're going to slightly take longer, if it's okay, but you're free to leave if you want. I hope you don't, but because it's a workshop style, it's going to take a bit longer. So bear with me, inshallah. The second scenario is about disobedience. So your 16-year-old son is called Ali. You realize lately that Ali is not coming back home straight after school. When you ask him why, he says he's going to his friend Sadiq's house to do homework together. You investigate and find out that this is not true. Reality is that Ali is going to shisha cafes after school. Sometimes he skips lessons and goes early to the cafe and has shisha with his friends. You also find out that sometimes girls from the school also join them for shisha. Some of his friends smoke cigarettes, but you don't have any evidence that Ali also smokes any cigarettes. One day you and your spouse decide to confront Ali with the reality. How would you start this conversation with Ali? Because you need to speak to him. Ali is skipping school, he's going to shisha, there are girls involved, there is smoking involved. He's not really going to school. He's actually going to shisha cafes and spending time there and with his friends. I'm going to give you around 2 minutes because I got to move on. How would you have this conversation with Ali? Because Ali's skipping school, so you've got to have that conversation with him. What will be your tone while having that particular conversation? Okay? So have a very quick discussion, and inshallah we'll come back in 1 or 2 minutes. رواية؟
اكو آية بالقرآن مهمة جدا. ما دام ذكر قال يا أيها الذين آمنوا قوا أنفسكم وأهليكم نارا وقودها الناس. دام ذكروا أنا مسؤول عنكم وهاي النار يعني مو تحذير تذكرهم بنك المعلومات مالكم ورا باليدود البنك مالكم صلون لكم مو إلي فلازم يقول عندي أنا 14
عندك 14 يعني مثلا
14 لما تصلي إليه بنك المعلومات ينقص معطيك الحسنات.
اي
حتى يشوف بعد يصلي ما يصلي بعد الكونفرتيشن والذكر من هاي اول لازم تكون حاجه صحيح. ما الفرق
Okay, well, we'll move on. Anyone wants to? We'll take quick comments for this one. Anyone wants to talk about this? What would be your? How would you start the conversation with Ali? Anyone else? Abu Sadiq? You will. بس الريموت وينه؟ Can we guys, yeah.
I will break the habit of pick him up from school to do some activities and break that habit he has to go with his friend. That's what I'll do.
So you'll pick him up from school?
Bring him from school, or the wife pick him up from school. We do some activities. Based on that activities, we pick him up and we break his habit in going to the cafe having nargila.
But what if he comes and tells you, well, I'm 16 years old. I don't want you to, are you treating me like a child?
No, it's a friend. I mean, you're my son. I want to go out with you.
Yeah, but every day?
Well, we'll figure out something. That's what I'll do personally. So.
But how would you confront that with him? Because you've got to tell him you can't leave it because he's skipping school. So how would you approach that conversation?
That I don't know how to approach it. Depends on the situation, but.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Anyone has any idea how would you start the conversation with Ali? الأخوان هنا. بالعربي هم, it's okay if you want to speak in Arabic. تفضل. اي.
اذا الستايل جديد يعني على الناس يعني على الطفل هاي مشكله. فاغلب الاحيان احنا اولادنا نوديهم لو يلعب باسكت بول يروح الواي ام سي اي فبيزي والسبورت
ورا المدرسه.
اي سبورت اكتيفيتيز وي نو
16 years old.
لازم ما ترى انا دائما عندي بنت سحر دائما تروح مثل يورك عندها برنامج عندها كلاس عندها افطار كذا فانا اعرف.
الولد غير شيء.
يعني ما ادري بس
يعني الولد يعني they attracted to cafes and shisha cafes and not school and things like that. They
like line يعني السموكينج ريد لاين هذا لازم واحد يكون كلش حذر.
But what would you do? شلون تحكي ويا علي؟
الحمد لله ما عندي هالمشكله.
لا بس خلينا نتعلم سمان ما دا اقول لك عليك انت.
ديترمن هاي ما بيها يعني ما بيها يعني to be easy with it. You have to be determined.
شلون يعني confrontation?
Yeah, you have to.
شو تقول له؟ What do you do? What would you tell him?
With going with his friend.
Okay, so you confront Ali and tell him, stop it. You can't do this anymore.
Yeah, you can't do it, and your friend, they are not, you cannot get along with them. Most of the friend, you have.
So you'll confront him and speak to him in a firm way.
You have to. Most of the time, you gotta interfere with your kid and choose as a friend.
Okay.
Whatever that friend is good. You will see as a friend. I mean, they are coming home or they are playing together. You can see them.
So you got to make sure that their friends are.
They are good, yeah.
They're good. Okay. Yeah. Anyone from the sisters? No. Okay. So we'll move on. So let's see what would you do. A lot of us will deal with these in the following way. We'll start, blaming, accusing, name calling, threats, commands, because we get very angry. Lecturing. Warnings, we give warnings, punishments, we do comparisons. هذا بيت فلان والله كل زين وانت ما ادري ايش بيك. We start comparing, sarcasm, so punishments, etc. How can we deal with this? Well, it's really, as we said like before, try to not speak from anger. Anger always takes you towards hostility and it doesn't end well. When you speak to your kids, and I know it's very difficult, do not speak from anger. But express مثل حجي تفضل express strong disapproval without attacking character. So as we said yesterday, do you guys remember what we said yesterday about not you but say I? Yeah? If you start doing this to your children as well, they'll start becoming defensive. Say, you have been going out, you've been... Just say, for example, I think the issue here is lying, smoking shisha, and free mixing. You say, I think the issue here is lying, free mixing, and shisha. Not, you don't say, for example, you are the one who always does this, you are the one, then it becomes quite confrontational. The language you use it's really important how you express the language with your children. Explain it in a calm way why Islamically this is wrong. Him skipping school, going to shisha, smoking, ليش Islamically this is wrong for him to do, to do all these things. Ask him to give you solutions. Don't give him solutions and say, well, actually, I think you should do this, this, and that. Ask him and say, what do you think we should do from now on? So you've explained that Islamically is wrong. You've tried and say, well, the issue here is shisha, is free mixing, is lying. Okay, what do you think we should do from now? Try to give them the opportunity to give the solution, rather than the solution comes from you and then they rebel, because the solution has come from you, not them. Do you understand the difference? Yeah, and work with your child the best way forward. We can prevent this from happening. From young age, you can have a culture of honesty and authenticity. Prevent this from happening. From young age, be their friend. You know, you guys know this. But have this honesty. There's no need for cover-ups. There's no need for things. Always be open with your children. Have a mission statement. Prioritize family. Really important, father's involvement. We talked a bit about taking your child out for oxytocin, but the father is not just about work. Father needs to be there, needs to engage with the children. I know sometimes it gets very stressful. You come back from work, but it's really important you spend some time with your children. Okay? Number one, you give your wife a break. And number two, it's really important that you have that bond, that one-to-one. So the father's presence is very, very important. Spend one-to-one time. We talked about this, and we also talked about the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so I'm going to now talk about the LGBT, if anyone okay with that. If you have a child who you think shouldn't take part in this, you have a few seconds to leave. Okay?